Well, here would be my thought on Tampa as a whole. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers still have a decent defense. Certainly, guys like Derek Brooks may not be playing at the level that he once did, but their defense, considering the offense didn't move very much last year, was middle of the pack. They signed Cato June, a light linebacker, but one that certainly understands how to play big-time football. So if you draft a couple of defensive players to make that unit good again, you know, that's way one side of the ball, the offense was ranked among the last. So if it's not Quinn, who would you go? I mean, obviously they're aging, but Simeon Rice, Rondé Barber, Derek Brooks, these guys still play good football. There's some others around. So maybe you make that defense pretty good still. If that's the case, where do they go?
And they have not used a #1 pick, a first-round draft pick on a defensive player, I think since '99 with Anthony McFarland. So you've got Gaines Adams, the defensive end from Clemson, who brings the speed off the edge that Monty Kiffin, the defensive coordinator, loves. Or you have an Amobi Okoye, a Louisville defensive tackle who can play either tackle or a Warren Sapp or an Anthony McFarland type position. So yes, defense makes all the sense in the world for the Buccaneers, but right now you get a little mystery.
Not only that, they got to pick somebody right now that'll help them win, because they got to win.
Well, that's it. That's the other point. John Gruden, some people think he only has 1 year left.
It's been quite a run there, huh? It's been a Super Bowl, 2 years no playoffs, win division, no playoffs. It's been an odd roller coaster in Tampa for Coach Gruden.
You mentioned the age, and all three of us just kind of hit on it. He recognizes that defense is going to have to be retooled and restructured over the next few years. This might be this window, and that's why, again, Calvin Johnson is why he wants a big playmaker to come in to help this team maybe go to the Super Bowl again. If not, let's start preparing.
Would have been great, but they've got to deal with the defense. I mean, listen, we love quarterbacks, we love throwing the ball, but we know that defense does win championships.
Is there any chance they're talking to Detroit right now? What do you want us to pick?
There's certainly a chance, but they've got. Listen, we may talk about Brady Quinn and Calvin Johnson. Practically speaking, how do you continue to ignore your defense?
Gaines Adams, who is in New York, the defensive player here in New York. Now, what does he bring?
He brings pass rush ability off the edge, Boom. I think you look at how he compares to Mario Williams from last year's draft, the #1 pick overall. Not certainly as physically gifted as Mario Williams, but you could make an argument that Gaines Adams was the more consistent pass rusher from the start of the season this past year till the end. Remember, a lot of Mario Williams sacks his junior year at NC State came the second half of the season. The problem with Gaines Adams, and we'll see him here, number 93, the ability to get after the quarterback is, first of all, the Wake Forest game, he turned that game around here. When you talk about in the fourth quarter, they were down big. Gaines Adams getting after the quarterback. Gaines Adams here picking up the blocked field goal, taking it all away. And I think that's the thing with Gaines Adams. Off the edge, he will wreak havoc. Against the run, those run responsibilities, being strong at the point, that's where he has issues. Lazy, uninspired against the run. You've got to be a complete player in the NFL, a one-dimensional guy this early. That's why some people talk about the bust factor, Boom, about Gaines Adams.
Now the pick is in. We're looking for the smile on Gaines. Let's see if we get it now.
Okay, Buck fans. With the 4th pick in the 2007 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take Gaines Adams, defensive end, Clemson.
You know what? And that young man's got a good poker face. He was on the phone for a couple minutes. We couldn't read if it was the team or his folks. I mean, it was just what was going on. So Gaines Adams becomes the first defensive player to go, and they start to retool this defense. And by the way, here's what they hope he becomes. When you go up against him, no Gaines Adams.
Well, he brings them that speed off the edge that Monty Kiffin, the defensive coordinator, loves. The only knock I heard on Gaines Adams, for the most part, Mel addressed some of it, is, this guy played 8-man football in high school. Doesn't really mix it up well when you're talking about, holding up against the run and what have you. But for the Tampa Bay defense, they love speed off the edges. You know, Keyshawn, Simeon Rice has 1 year left on his contract. Dwayne White, they traded, is now in Detroit with Rod Marinelli. So yes, Gaines Adams does make sense.
But I don't think that's really a factor of whether or not he can play the run. What defensive ends in the National Football League plays the run outside of a guy like a Julius Peppers? And he's not Julius Peppers. He's closer to Simeon Rice than anything. So I think they get a fair pick here for what they want to do. But remember, they still may trade this pick. We don't know for sure to Detroit.
Keep selling it.
Well, the assumption always was when you did your projections of the first round, that somehow, some way, Tampa Bay was going to get Calvin Johnson, and the Detroit Lions were going to get a Gaines Adams to put together that very formidable defensive front with Rodgers, Redding, and Dwayne White. Obviously, we'll see what happens down the road with whether that scenario unfolds.
Well, the Buccaneers, their glory days. I know, Keyshawn, you won a Super Bowl with them, but their glory days with defense. They had a speed guy on defense. As Mort points out, the first this century that they picked. Number one, we'll show you more. Gaines Adams when we come back. But now the Arizona Cardinals, they are on the clock. As still in the green room include Brady Quinn, Adrian Peterson. We'll be back to New York with the 5th pick of the draft in a moment.